Hi everybody, good morning, good evening everyone. Welcome to the channel, and I'm doing a session on B School form filling and interview prep with you guys. A lot of people had been requesting me for my ideas, my thoughts on that. I'm just trying to make sure I'm live and available with you guys, and just waiting for a few of you to join live. And we'll in the session we'll be the focus will be on am I able, are you guys able to see me now? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, this thing has started now, I guess. Yeah, so hi, so very happy new year to all of you. And welcome to the session. And in today's session I'm going to talk about the GDPI form filling, the form filling process and the GDPI. So we are going to discuss some of the specific questions that have been asked in various B School forms. So I am Kozhikode, I am Lucknow, I am Ahmedabad ke questions मेरे पास हैं अभी, और I'll be discussing those, and I'll also be willing to take questions from you or comments from you on the chat, right? So I'll keep coming back to the chat. I'll have to go back to my WhatsApp to check the questions. So first of all, let's look at the I am Kozhikode questions. So the first question from I am Kozhikode that I want to discuss is, and then I hope you understand that filling forms is one of the most critical aspects of the B School process. In fact, if you look at international B Schools, where there's no interview, their whole selection is based on your GMAT score or your GRE score, plus looking at your forms, just looking at what you've written in the forms. So the form filling process is very important for the B School interview. In fact, once you fill a form well, you can actually direct 80-90% of the interview into your strengths and into the areas which you want the interview to go to. So it's very important for you to not just write the form well, but also write it strategically. You have to be able to understand strategically what are the things you should write, which will make you, which will give you an outcome of a slightly easier landing in the interview. Because what happens when you go to the interview, this thing. So let me just first briefly outline your professional plans. This is your I am Kozhikode questions and career objectives. And substantially why you want to do an PGP and what do you expect from it. Why PGP and what do you expect from it. The second question, which is very common, this is very common not just in forms but also in interviews, describe your strengths and weaknesses as identified by you. Then the next question is most significant accomplishment. That is the next one. And what are your present hobbies? That's your next question. So I'm just trying to take all the questions which have been asked. This is I am Kozhikode form, and any other information you would like to share. So there are 5 questions there. Any other info you would like to share. So these are the questions which are there in the I am Kozhikode form, and let me just go back to our live so that I am able to look at your to look at your questions and all also. So let's start looking at what you should do in these questions, right? So and this is while this is the I am Kozhikode form, those of you who have not got I am Kozhikode calls, and you are trying to go for an MBA from some other college, and you're looking at or expecting calls from other places, you have to remember that these questions are also very critical. They could be in your interview questions, a part of your interview questions also. So what are your professional plans and career objectives? Why PGP, and what do you expect from the PGP program? So this is the first question that we want to highlight on in today's session. So when you talk about professional plans, it has to be it cannot be very specific. I mean, 20 years from now, I will be working in this company, I'll be CEO of that company, etc. No, you can't do that, because there's so many ifs and buts before that. But yes, what kind of career you want to have. So one level of generic answer could be that, okay, I want to be in the corporate sector, or I want to be if there's an industry identified for you. Just I have had people who have answered that I want to be a top executive in the automotive industry. I want to be a top executive in the social media industry, whichever. If you have an industry identified that, okay, this is the industry I want to work in, then there has to be a reason why you're working in why that industry is very important for you and why you want to go into that industry. Otherwise, it's best to keep this generic. Okay, in 20 years, I mean, when you're talking about professional plans, of course, you are all going to be MBA graduates. You're going to be MBA graduates. So you have to talk about the fact that you want to be a finance MBA or a marketing MBA, whatever. If you have an inclination, if you don't have an inclination, you want to be neutral about it. Okay, I want to decide after joining my MBA whether I want to do finance or marketing. That's also fine, right? But you're going to talk about the fact that, okay, what kind of career you want to be? An entrepreneurial career, you want to be in the social sector, you want to be in the corporate sector, you want to have an international career, right? But the key keywords that you try to put into your professional plans, whether it's a interview question or a form filling question, some of the keywords you try to put in is a career of impact. You are trying to create impact. It is not, you should not be talking about creating wealth. Maybe you can talk about creating wealth for all stakeholders. It should not be, I want to earn a lot of money and all those things. It should be, I want to create wealth for all stakeholders around me, and my company and my customers, as well as my employers, etc. So that kind of work you can write there. And so this is what you would fill as far as your career objectives are. I mean, and you should have a three-dimensional part of your career objective. Okay, when I look at my career objectives, I'm looking at a 5-year, 10, 15 years, that's a medium term, and a 20, 25-year perspective. So short term, medium term, long term, right? Three perspectives mein isko likho. Short term, I would have started my entrepreneurial venture in 5-7 years time, or I would be in the junior management cadre of a consulting company, or whatever work you want to do, you can put that there, and you can follow that up with where you see yourself in 10-15 years, and finally where you see in 20-25 years. So 20-25 years, if you're looking at a corporate career, you have to talk about the fact that you want to be at the top of the industry, having created a lot of impact in the industry you joined, right? As I said, you don't talk about, I want to earn a lot of money and I want to be very rich and all those things. Wo sab mat karo. Why you want to do an MBA? Because I want to be rich. No, those things, I want to increase my salary 4 times. Those are unstated things. You don't need to state that. That's part of the game. Every B school knows that. People have come there for a jump in their career and they jump in their packages. But you don't talk about it. You talk about the value you want to get. How ultimately the logic is how you're going to gain traction in your career. How are you going to gain that 3x 4x on your salary? You are at a 6-7 lakh package right now before an MBA. How do you want to get to 25-30 lakhs? Why will it happen? It's not just going to be because of the B school name. It's going to happen because of the fact there's no magic wand in the B school name, right? So it's going to happen because of the fact that you are a different person when you come out of the B school. So when you're going into B school, you're looking at and so when you're talking about this part, why PGP and what do you expect, your focus has to be on the learning part. on what I want to learn, what I want to learn about. And the more specific you can be about your learning experience that you're looking forward to, the better it is. Rather than saying you just in one line, if you can actually detail it. Okay, I'm looking at courses like consumer marketing. I'm looking at courses like, so you can take a few names of courses there. You can look at the B School's website. You can see what electives are offered in the second year, and based on that, if you take a few names of courses, of course, it's very different from saying कि मेरे को MBA करना है because I want to jump my career. And this immediately starts, when you start doing this immediately starts differentiating you from where you are, from your other competitors, right? The next question is strengths and weaknesses. Now this is a question which I've seen a lot of trainers talk or speak total crap about, in the sense that a lot of people talk about. I've come across a lot of students in my past 20-25 years of teaching experience where people come and say that weakness, मेरे इंस्टीट्यूट ने या मेरे ट्रेनर ने बताया कि वीकनेस मत बताओ, बिकॉज वीकनेस बताने से तुम्हारा कैंडिडेचर खराब हो जाता है. इट्स ऑल बुलशिट, बिकॉज इफ आई वाज अ मैच्योर पर्सन, I would be able to list down 3-4 strengths, and I would be able to list down 10-15 weaknesses. So take, I mean, in my view, you should take the opposite approach. But when you're talking about weakness, you don't talk about a generic weakness like I'm a lazy person, right? Or I'm a very casual person. Don't take a personality defect into as a weakness. What you do is you come up with high quality weaknesses. For example, let's say you make a weakness like when I'm not motivated, I have a low self-starting ability. Right now, this is something which shows somebody who's very well thought about himself, rather than somebody who's saying that I'm lazy or I'm casual and I have a habit of procrastination, etc. These kind of things a lot of people talk about in their strengths, weaknesses. So instead of that, go into deeper aspects of your character, go into deeper aspects of your personality, and find those fine-tuned errors that you're making time and again. Sometimes I have a problem of performing under pressure, right? I'm normally very good, but under pressure. Now this is the problem 99.9% people in the world have. So when you're saying something like that, you're accepting it, and you're also saying that I'm working on it, because the moment I know my weakness, I'll be working on it. So unfortunately, what a lot of people do is in their interviews. Just hold on one sec. In the interview preparation, what a lot of people do in their interview preparation or process is they try to hide weaknesses, or they come up with, okay, I've got only 2 weaknesses. Now the problem is, as a 20-year-old guy, you're supposed to have weaknesses. I mean, you ask I'm a Kozhikode director, what is strengths and weaknesses? He'll tell you 5 strengths and he'll tell you 25 weaknesses. But these weaknesses are not those that you'll hear from 10th standard kids. So 10th standard kids वाला जो weakness है वो मत बताओ कि मैं lazy हूँ, मैं casual हूँ, मेरे को सुबह उठने में दिक्कत होता है. These kind of weaknesses are not going to be taken. They're going to show that you are a 10th standard kid and you're not ready for a B school. Ultimately, every interview process is about trying to see whether you are ready for a B school or not. So instead of that, if you go into detailed structures, my lateral, I've got very strong structured thinking ability, but my lateral thinking ability is weak. I'm not able to think laterally too often. Now that's exactly what they're trying to develop for you, right? At the time of action, I sometimes have a problem staying in the moment, right? So if you're explaining that, you automatically know that there's somebody, you are somebody who's, I mean, staying in the moment is a worldwide, it's something which is a worldwide क्या बोलोगे, movement. Everybody is talking about it. All performance coaches, everybody is talking about it. The moment you know that I have this problem, you are acknowledging the fact that, and everybody has this problem. I mean, every Tom, Dick, Harry, and every person in the world has this problem of whether you can stay in the moment or not. And the champions are champions because they are very good at doing it. So the moment you say that I have at times, you're just saying that at times, as presenting a weakness, at times I have a problem staying in the moment when I am emotionally disturbed. So it's creating a pretty strong personality sketch, which is going to be impressing the interviewer, rather than saying something like I am emotional. इस तरह कुछ बोलोगे weakness तो बहुत खराब weakness है वो. If you're emotional, that means how will you take rational decisions under pressure? You're not going to be able to do that, right? So I'll take some questions. Sanchari Sen has asked, for Lucknow ABM and Ahmedabad FABM, why MBA question need to be closely related to agribusiness or general? There's a different slot for why ABM as well. Yeah, if the question is why MBA, then in the why MBA form, in your form in the why MBA question, you'll talk about why MBA only. Specifically, if there's a why ABM question separately, so ABM wala angle tum wahan likhoge. But yes, if your career is such that agribusiness is where you want to be, and you have that fit because of your past, the kind of graduation you've done and the kind of work you're doing, so then you can say that even in your YMBA question. But अगर वो नहीं है और तुम MBA ABM का फॉर्म भर रहे हो, तुम्हारे let's say you are a BA economics graduate from Delhi University and you have been working in let's say a consulting company, और तुम बता रहे हो कि मैं एग्री बिजनेस के लिए पैसा लिया हूँ, so it will not work, right? Because nobody is going to do this thing. Random user says, I am a black belt in karate. Great thing. Will I get any benefit in interview? Yeah, you talk about. I mean, just put it across, and put the fact that what you got out of that black belt and out of the training you did for getting that black belt, etc. is going to help you a lot, right? You talk about how it helped your mind, how it made you stronger as a person, right? So there will be a lot of benefits. Sumit is asking, will they not ask detailed question if we tell about some definite course? Yeah, see, when you talk about why do you want to do a management degree, the first aspect has to be that I am at this position, I want to learn, I want to improve who I am, right? I'm looking for a course that will finish me off in terms of my ability to think, right? It's like a finishing school. So when you are, that's the first perspective why you want to do an MBA. Right, the package etc. is a automatic outcome of doing an MBA. Right, you don't do an MBA for that reason. So when you start doing this, when you start talking about learning, okay, I want to learn. So the one level ahead of saying that I want to learn or I want to improve myself, that's why I want to do an MBA. One level ahead is okay, what are the dimensions of the learning you're looking at? Right, I want to become a better communicator. I'm looking at through an MBA. I want to become a more analytical thinker. I want to learn these kind of topics. So the moment you're saying I'm learning this, I want to learn these kind of topics. I've looked at your when you say that okay, you have got a course on neuro-linguistic programming in the first year. I'm very interested in that course. So the moment you say that, they get positively this thing, because one of the key problems that B schools face, and this is something which is very real. One of the key problems that B schools face, and this is something which is very real, is कि एक बार वहाँ पहुँच जाओ तो attendance में दिक्कत होती है students को. They don't come for classes, and every prof knows that. So when you are trying to project that I'm actually really interested, and that's not the right thing to do when you do an MBA. You should actually. I used to bunk a lot of classes myself when I was in B school, but I regret it now, and I regret it for the last 20 years that when I had the opportunity, I actually did not immerse myself into that learning that I had gone for. So your focus should be that. So if you are trying to present that okay, I've actually looked at your first year courses, I've looked at your second year courses, and you strategically place a few names inside your form, that these are the kind of courses I'm really interested in, or these are the kind of areas in which I'm really interested in learning about. And how, of course, it has to be connected. Why you want to learn these things? Because where you want to go in your career. So there has to be a link between these two, right? So that's what. Sanchari, biotechnology graduation, they can be linked together. Yeah, you can link the two, right? Talking about esports will work. Yeah, it will work. Is it? Does online gaming give a bad impression? No. If you've done something serious in online gaming and you've taken it as a passion. See, when you talk about this next question, what are your present hobbies? So I personally define three things. Interest. When an interest gets activated, it becomes a hobby. And when a hobby becomes an all-consuming activity, it becomes a passion. So, which are the things you have actually taken towards passion? This one thing, and even for those of you who are preparing longer term and watching this session, preparing for CAT 24, 25, and watching this session, watching this class, think about what are the things that you can actually move from interest to hobbies, and from hobbies to passion. If you can come in into an interview with a couple of passions which are not there for others, which others are because people will come into the interview with general interests and hobbies. If you come in with passions, it immediately differentiates you. So if you have got a passion for esports, you talk about that, talk about what your achievements are in that, talk about what you learned out of it, talk about how it made you a better person. Perfect. Fantastic. Right. Random user, teach students at very minimal fee from 3 years. Should I mention it in my resume? Yes, you should. Anything you've done should be mentioned because it's always positive. Most significant accomplishment. Now this accomplishment need not be something, and this is something again which I wanted to talk about. I'll give you a small experience of mine. There was this college principal who had once called me to a rural setting I mean, the NCC Scouts team of that college had actually gone into a rural this thing for some social work, and they were staying there. These kids were staying there, and they were not very high class kids in the sense that they were from medium and semi-urban, semi-rural backgrounds. These kids who were there in that camp, and he had asked me to go to that camp and motivate the students. So I remember I'm sitting inside this hut in a village near Lucknow. I'm sitting inside this hut. There was one seat that they made me sit on, and there were 40 kids sitting in front of me on that floor. And I asked this question: has anybody accomplished anything? Has any one of you accomplished anything? Has any one of you succeeded in doing something? So everybody was hands down. So one guy at the end of the room raises his hand, and then he tells me that sir, I have achieved something. So I asked him, what is your achievement? So he said, and you'll be surprised what he said. He said, sir, class 12th, I got 60% marks. Everybody started laughing in the class. In this thing. So I also played along with the laughter, and I asked this question: do you think this is an achievement? Everybody said, "No, sir, 60% to sabko aa jata hai class 12th mein." So I said, I would beg to differ, and I would agree that this is an achievement. So I told this guy, I directly addressed him, and I said, I've never met you before, perhaps we'll never meet again, but I can tell you one thing, or based on the way you've told me 60% in class 12 as an achievement, I know that you did not get a first division in class 10th. He said, yes sir, I did not get a first division in class 10th. And you took a decision that class 12 you'll study hard and you'll get 60%, and it was an achievement for you. He said, exactly sir, that's what happened. So an accomplishment need not be something which is, I won an Olympic medal, or I was the topper of my class, or this thing. Even something like engineering, maths 1 I got 40 marks, maths 2 I got 93 marks. Right? Even something, some jump like that. Right? I picked up a fitness program, and I completely changed the way I treat my body. Great, it's an accomplishment. Why not? Why is it not? Right? Accomplishment does not necessarily mean that you are. An accomplishment does not necessarily mean that you are some hero who has achieved something which can be published in the newspapers. It could be a small accomplishment of yours, which you could have taken care of your family for a week when you were a teenager. Anything like that. You could have taught your younger brother to score better marks in school. You could have taught 3 kids from your locality for free, and that could have been an achievement for you. So accomplishment is something which need not be, it has to be something where how you define an accomplishment is that you normally don't do those kind of things. You rose up to the occasion and you did something which you're proud of. That's it. That should be an accomplishment, right? So grad in last year, in grad certificate in IIM Lucknow form. I have not seen the form, Gajendra, so I cannot tell you openly, and I'll not venture out to say that कि तुमको क्या भरना चाहिए. तुम उसको ज़रा ठीक से देख लो, और कोई भी डाउट है अगर किसी कॉलेज के बारे में तो उनके हेल्पलाइन पे कॉल करो, right, rather than asking here there. Call the helpline. Every college is a helpline. Just call them. That's the best way, because they are the best people to tell you. And then once you get information, suppose मैंने कुछ बोल दिया और तुमने कुछ वो डाल दिया, and then the college says नहीं, this is not accepted. So that will always be a bad thing to do, right? So and it's not possible for us to keep track of 200 colleges and exactly what they are going to ask you, what form will work and what will not work, etc. It's very difficult for us to keep track, specifically in a changing scenario. So best way, the moment you have any doubts about your form, about anything structurally about your form, please go ahead and trouble their helpline. Yeah, changing my stream from science to commerce is my significant achievement, as commerce in my family is not much appreciable, and I scored more than many commerce grads in my first term. Yes, great achievement. You can actually talk about this because you went against your family. You took when you talk about changing stream from science to commerce, you must have been a teenager, mid-teens, early teens, mid-teens, maybe 15, 17 years old, and you took that risk because you went against conventional wisdom in your family and you actually rose up to it, right? So that's a fantastic achievement to talk about, right? So, or accomplishment to talk about. So do find, I'm quite sure all of you have that. कुछ ना कुछ है तुम्हारे अंदर. ठीक है, तुमने ओलंपिक मेडल नहीं जीता है, गोल्ड मेडल नहीं लिया है ओलंपिक का, और तुमने कोई वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल में सेंचुरी नहीं बनाया. दैट्स ओके, राइट? जो तुम्हारे न्यूज़पेपर्स विल शाउट अबाउट यू कि दिस गाय हैज डन दिस, ठीक है, और यू हैव नॉट स्कोर्ड 100 percentile in CAT so that everybody will stand and clap for you. Fine, find something from your background, find something from your past and use it. ठीक है, चलो, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being with all of you. I'll be live regularly. I'm sorry I keep switching off from my YouTube channel, but New Year's, new commitments. I'm trying to make a commitment to be regular, and just I'll come and chit chat with you guys. Thank you so much. But sometimes there's a mental block कि क्या बात करेंगे आज, and then you say कि नहीं करेंगे, right? So today I've kind of broken that, and I'll make sure that I'm live regularly, and you'll also see a lot of activity on the channel. So do subscribe, do share the news about the channel, and do help us. Ankit says, I didn't do justice to my grad because I was serious for esports. Yes, Sumit, I'll be this thing, and I've played many tournaments in college. One of you. Now this will sound as an excuse. You accept the fact that you did not do well in college, right? You did not focus. You could have focused on both things, right? ऐसा नहीं है कि तुम e-sport, अगर तुम ऐसा बोलोगे तो then you are not ready for a B school, because, and that's the message I'm getting from that, because तुम जब B school से pass out करोगे, तुम 5 चीज़ एक साथ करने वाले हो. When you join a corporate company, you'll be in the marketing department, and you'll be in the sales department, and you'll be also asked to do some strategic work. तुम 3 चीज़ एक साथ manage नहीं कर सकते हो, तो you're not ready. You're still a kid, right? So you'll talk about you will talk about the fact that you did not get invested into your college studies, right? And you cannot give excuses like this, because this is schoolboy excuse, frankly. Chalo, thank you so much. I'll definitely come more regularly. Do spread the word, and do subscribe to the channel if you have not, and I'll come back again. Thank you so much. Bye bye.